Hare Krishna, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Se Ho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopalgopina Shalakan Radhakan Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sri Navadvip Dham Ki Jai. Sri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Yamuna Mai Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Gaur Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki jai.
How are you doing? Oh, wonderful. But who is visiting this? Like, are you living here or you were living here? I haven't maybe met you, but I'm not visiting much here. Actually, I live in here, Shami. So, yeah, over here, That's fine. Yeah. So, yes. But I guess you were out for some time. But, sorry. Last couple of months.
I'm here every morning. Not so much.
Okay, that's yeah. I usually come Sunday evening and sometimes once in a month or twice in a month. Oh, I'm also before I was working here in Kansas City. Joe Hospital. Yes. But that can work in research. Yeah. It's for parts. But previously it was like your research. Before that, I was doing that. Very good. What's the name? Christian Straw in the house. Christian Straw in the house. Walk with us. Christian Straw in the right now. Okay. Yeah, I don't think checking if we how do we do that? Okay. Because if we would like it to be the last day, I can take it and return. Oh, okay. But if you like it, then we can keep it. So I guess it's every night that the schedule is working. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So you is it helpful? You go to the morning or in the day? Yeah. I guess. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't really have to maintain it.
Well, I came here today because it's my birthday. I wanted to come by, even though we are meeting on Sunday, but I wanted to come by if I can. So, and, if this guy is not doing his job, then I can do it. But I wanted to come by for the station. Yeah. How long?
Seems like it's coming.
Okay. I texted him, so he said he will be here, or better he's going to be
No.
but yeah.
Actually, I don't think it's there.
He was out somewhere, driving somewhere.
So he texted me, he's coming here, he's close by. I'm just, yeah, I was just wanted to check that you would keep it.
Yeah, I guess you would be the one who would want to talk to.
Okay. Yeah.
You want to sit with us?
Yeah, okay, he comes. Yeah.
How would you see?
It's fine. Yeah.
You're okay like that?
Yeah.
Gita class. Start introduction prayer at page 1. Omagana Kamamashya Yana Yana Salakya Chaksu Nita Yinata Sme Shigarave Namaha Shikitanya Mama Vishram Zavita Nina Rutave Swayam Bhakavamayam Tatati Swabhavantikam. I was born in the darkest ignorance. My spiritual master opened my eyes to the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. When was Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhupada was established within this material world, the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya to give me shelter, so to speak. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Buddha Pada Kamala Shri Guru Vaishnamascha Shri Rupa Sakrakam Saladana Raghunandaritam Sasajivam Savetam Sahutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Saladana Dalita Shri Vishnavantamscha. Offer my respectful obeisances and to live speak my spiritual master and to feed all Vaishnavas. Offer my respectful obeisances and to live speak Sri Rupa Goswami along with his elder brother Sanatana Goswami, as well as Raghunath Das and Raghunath Bhakta, Gopala Bhakta, Sri Najiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita Acharya, Gadar, Srivasa, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their association. Sri Lalita and Ishishaka. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu, Dino Bado Jyapite, Gopisha Gopika, Kanta Radha Kanta Namasute. Oh, my dear Krishna, you are the friend of distress in this force of creation. You are the master of gopis and lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tapa Vanchavarami Radhe Vishvanaskare Vishvanusute Devi Pranamane Hare Paye. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose violet complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vishvanu, and you are very dear to the Lord Krishna. Vanchakapa Tvaryascha, Krita Sindhubhaya Vedascha, Bhaktitanam Bhavagariyo, Vaishnavayo Namo Namaha. Offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, who can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and who are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadar Sri Vasudeva. Offer my obeisances to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadar Sri Vasudeva, and all others in the line of devotion. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So now we were chapter 15?
15.
I think we ended up on text 12 yesterday.
Yeah, 12 sounds right.
So starting at text 13 today.
Bhagavad Gita as it is, text 13, translated by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, with elaborate prayer words. Galavishya Utani Dharmyamaham Dojasam Krishnami Chasati Sarada Samabhudvara Sapakaham. Translation in English: I enter into each planet, and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables.
Text 14. Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashrita Pranapana Samayutta Pachamyanam Chaturvidam. Translation: I am the fire of digestion and ever-living body. and I am the air of life, outgoing and incoming, by which I digest the 4 kinds of foodstuff.
Text 15. Sarvasya chaham yadi sanadishto matam shrintir yanam aparanam cha videsh cha sarver aham ila deyo vidyamta kridu veda vid ila chaham. Translation. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta. I'm the knower of the Vedas.
Text 16. Dvamino puruso loke ksharakshara kshara eva cha kshara swarni bhutani kadaksho nar kshara uchyate. Okay, translation. There are 2 classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every entity is fallible, and the spiritual world, every entity called infallible.
Text 17. Uttama Purushasunyaha Parama Nityudapitaha Yolokatrayam Vishya Vipartamyaya Ishvaraha. Translation. Besides these 2, there is the highest living personality, the Lord Himself, who has entered into these worlds and is maintaining them.
Text 18. Ismat saram titaham aksaran vichotamaham atosli loke pidechar pidita vichotamaham. Translation and purport. Because I am transcendental, beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that Supreme Person. For no one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, neither the conditioned soul nor the liberated soul. He is therefore the greatest of personalities. Now it is clear here that the living entities and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are individuals. The difference is that the living entities, either in the conditioned state or in the liberated state, cannot surpass in quantity the inconceivable potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Oh, I wasn't supposed to read the third one.
It's fine.
It's a short one anyways.
Text 19. Yoma evam sammudho janati purushottamam sasarva vidvashakti ma sarva bhavena bharata. Translation. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is to be understood as the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service. O son of Bharata.
Text 20. Iti guriyattamam sastram idam yuttamaya nyanaka ita buddha buddhimam sayat krita krityascha arata. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection.
It's the end of the chapter.
We're going to go to chapter
16.
So 16. Okay, text 1, 2, 3. Should I speak 1, 2, 3 all? Okay. Avayam Sattva Samshuddhigna Yoga Vyavasthita Ti Danam Damunsa Yagnakscha Swadhyaya Stap Arjavam Ahimsa Satyame Krodha Gnaga Shatipa Foshunam Daya Bhuddhesvablo Luptha Madhavam Hari Chapalam Tejaha Kshama Dhrutiha Shogna Madroho Natimanitha Bhavati Sampadam Devim Vijatasya Bharata. Translation. The blessed Lord said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity and simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion, and freedom from cowardness, gentleness, modesty, and steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortuity, cleanliness, freedom from envy, and patience from honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharata, belongs to godly men and endowed with the divine nature.
Text 4. Dambo dharpo bhimanacham kruda paurushamevacham ajnam cha vijatasya bhata sampada asuri. Translation. Arrogance, pride, anger, conceit, harshness and ignorance, these qualities belong to those of demoniac nature. O son of Buddha.
Text 5. Tari Saprana Moksaya Vadyaya Sarigata Asucha Sabatam Taye Vijitos Ipandava. Translation. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities.
Returning to text 12 of chapter 15. Text 12. The splendor of this translation, the splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of this whole world, comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. Purport. The unintelligent cannot understand how things are taking place. The beginning of knowledge can be established by understanding what the Lord explains here. Everyone sees the sun, moon, fire, and electricity. One should simply try to understand that the splendor of the sun, the splendor of the moon, and the splendor of electricity or fire are coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In such a conception of life, beginning of Krishna consciousness, lies a great deal of advancement for the conditioned soul in this material world. The living entities are essentially the parts and parcels of the Supreme Lord, and He is giving herewith the hint how they can come back to Godhead, back to home. From this verse we can understand that the sun is illuminating the whole solar system. There are different universes and solar systems, and there are different suns, moons, and planets also. Sunlight is due to the spiritual effulgence in the spiritual sky of the Supreme Lord. With the rise of the sun the activities of human beings are set up. They set fire to prepare the nice food stuff, they set fire to start the factories, etc. So many things are done with the help of fire. Therefore, sunrise, fire, and moonlight are so pleasing to the living entities. Without their help, no living entity can live. So if one can understand that the light and splendor of the sun, moon, and fire are emanating from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, then one's Krishna consciousness will begin. By living by the mercy of, by living by the
moonshine.
by the moonshine, all the vegetables are nourished. The moonshine is so pleasing that people can understand that they are living by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Without His mercy there cannot be sun. Without His mercy there cannot be moon. Without His mercy there cannot be fire. And without the help of sun, moon, and fire, no one can live. These are some thoughts to provoke Krishna consciousness and the conditioned soul.
Text 13. I enter into each planet, and by my energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon, and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. Purport. It is understood that all the planets are floating in the air only by the energy of the Lord. The Lord enters into every atom, every planet, and every living being. That is discussed in the Brahma Samhita. It is said that one plenary portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma, enters into the planets, the universe, the living entity, and even into the atom. So due to his entrance, everything's appropriately manifested. When the spirit soul is there, the living man can float on the water. But when the living spark is out of the body and the body is dead, it sinks. Of course, when it is decomposed, it floats just like straw and other things. But as soon as the man is dead, he at once sinks in the water. Similarly, all these planets are floating in space. And this is due to the entrance of the supreme energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His energy is sustaining each planet, just like a handful of dust. If someone holds a handful of dust, there is no possibility of the dust falling. But if one throws it in the air, it will fall down. Similarly, these planets which are floating in the air are actually held in the fist of the universal form of the Supreme Lord. By his strength and energy, all moving and unmoving things stay in their place. It's said that because of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sun is shining and the planets are steadily moving. Were it not for him, all the planets would scatter like dust in air and perish. Similarly, it is due to the Supreme Personality of Godhead that the moon nourishes all vegetables. Due to the moon's influence, the vegetables become delicious. Without the moonshine, the vegetables can neither grow nor taste succulent. Human society is working, living comfortably, and enjoying food due to the supply from the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, mankind could not survive. The word rasa makka is very significant. Everything becomes palatable by the agency of the Supreme Lord through the influence of the moon.
Text 14. Aham visva naro bhutva praninam dehamastritah pranapana samayuktah pachamyanam chaturvidam. I am the fire of the digestion in every living body, and I am the air of life, outgoing and incoming, by which I digest the four kind of foodstuff. According to the Ayurvedic Sutra, we understand that there is a fire in the stomach which digests all foods, and when the fire is not blazing, there is no hunger, and when the fire is in order, we become hungry. Sometimes, when the fire is not going nicely, treatment is required. In any case, this fire is a representative of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Vedic mantras also confirm that the Supreme Lord or Brahman is situated in the form of the fire within the stomach and in digesting all kind of foodstuff. Therefore, since he is helping the digestion of all kind of foodstuff, the living entity is not independent in the eating process. Unless the Supreme Lord helps him in digesting, there is no possibility of eating. He thus produces and digests foodstuff, and by his grace we are enjoying life. In the Vedanta Sutra, there is also confirmed Sabda di Bhayo Na Pratisthanasa. The Lord is situated within sound and within body, within the air, and even within the stomach as the digestive force. There are four kinds of foodstuffs. Some are swallowed, some are chewed, some are licked up, and some are sucked, and he is the digestive force for all of them.
Text 15. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Am I to be known? Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Purport. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Supreme Lord is situated as Paramatma in everyone's heart, and it is from Him that all activities are initiated. The living entity forgets everything of his past life, but he has to act according to the direction of the Supreme Lord, who is witness to all his work. Therefore, he begins his work according to his past deeds. Required knowledge is applied to him, and remembrance is given to him, and he forgets also about his past life. Thus, the Lord is not only all-pervading, He is also localized in every individual heart. He awards the different fruitive results. He is not only worshipable as the impersonal Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the localized Paramatma, but as the form of the incarnation of the Vedas as well. The Vedas gives the right direction to the people so that they can properly mold their lives and come back to Godhead, back to home. The Vedas offer knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, and Krishna is his incarnation as Vyasadeva is a compiler of the Vedanta Sutra. The commentation on the Vedanta Sutra by Vyasadeva in the Srimad Bhagavatam gives the real understanding of Vedanta Sutra. The Supreme Lord is so full that for the deliverance of the conditioned soul, he is the supplier and digester of foodstuff, the witness of his activity, the giver of knowledge in the form of Vedas, and as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, the teacher of the Bhagavad Gita. He is worshipable by the conditioned soul. Thus, God is all good. God is all merciful. Antah pravishta shastagnanam. The living entity forgets as soon as he quits his present body. But he begins his work again, initiated by the Supreme Lord. Although he forgets, the Lord gives him the intelligence to renew his work where he ended his last life. So not only does a living entity enjoy and suffer in this world according to the dictation from the Supreme Lord, situated locally in the heart, but he receives the opportunity to understand Vedas from him. If one is serious to understand the Vedic knowledge, then Krishna gives the required intelligence. Why does he present the Vedic knowledge for understanding? Because the living entity individually needs to understand Krishna. Vedic literature confirms this. Yo samsarve vede kriyate. In all Vedic literature, beginning from the four Vedas, Vedanta Sutra, and the Upanishads and Puranas, the glories of the Supreme Lord are celebrated. By performing Vedic rituals, discussing the Vedic philosophy and worshipping the Lord in devotional service, he is attained. Therefore, the purpose of the Vedas is to understand Krishna. The Vedas give us direction to understand Krishna and the process of understanding. The ultimate goal is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedanta Sutra confirms this in the following words: Tattu Samanvayat. One can attain perfection by understanding Vedic literature, and one can understand his relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead by performing the different processes. Thus, one can approach him and at the end attain the supreme goal, who is no other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In this verse, however, the purpose of the Vedas, the understanding of the Vedas, and the goal of the Vedas are clearly defined.
16. Valama Purusaloke Sarstrakshari Vicha Shar Savani Bhutani Kritastu Shar Uchyate. Translation. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every entity is called infallible. Purport. As already explained, the Lord in his incarnation as Vyasadeva compiled the Vedanta Sutra. Here the Lord is giving in summary the contents of the Vedanta Sutra. He says that the living entities, or innumerable, can be divided into two classes, the fallible and the infallible. The living entities are eternally separated parts and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When they are in contact with the material world, they are called Jiva Bhuta. And the Sanskrit words given here, Sarvani Bhutani, mean that they are fallible. Those who are in oneness with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, are called infallible. Oneness does not mean that they have no individuality, but that there is no disunity. They are all agreeable to the purpose of the creation. Of course, in the spiritual world, there's no such thing as creation. But since the Supreme Personality of Godhead has stated in the Vedanta Sutra that he is the source of all emanations, that conception is explained. According to the statement of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, there are two classes of men. The Vedas give evidence of this, so there's no doubt about it. The living entities are struggling in this world with the mind and five senses of their material bodies, which are changing as long as the living entities are conditioned. One's body changes due to contact with matter. Matter is changing, so the living entity appears to be changing. But in the spiritual world, the body is not made of matter, therefore there's no change. In the material world, the living entity undergoes 6 changes: birth, growth, duration, reproduction, then dwindling and vanishing. These are the changes of the material body. But in the spiritual world, the body does not change. There's no old age, there's no birth, there is no death. There, all exist in oneness. It is more clearly explained as Sarvani Bhutani, any living entity who has come in contact with matter, beginning from the first created being, Brahma, down to a small ant, is changing its body. Therefore, they are all fallible. In the spiritual world, however, they are always liberated in oneness.
Verse 17. Translation. Besides these two, there is the greatest living personality, the Lord Himself, who has entered into these worlds and is maintaining them. Purport. This verse is very nicely expressed in the Katha Upanishad and the Shvetashvatara Upanishad. It is clearly stated there that above the innumerable living entities, some of whom are conditioned and some of whom are liberated, there is a Supreme Personality, who is Paramatma. The Upanishadic verse runs as follows: Nityo Nityanam Chetanash Chetanana. The purport is that there is one Supreme Living Personality, Supreme Personality of Godhead, who maintains them and gives them all the facilities of enjoyment according to different work. That Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. A wise man who can understand him is eligible to attain the perfect peace, not others. It is incorrect to think of the Supreme Lord and the living entities as being on the same level or equal in all respects. There is always the question of superiority and inferiority in their personalities. This particular word, Uttama, is very significant. No one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Loki is also significant because in the Purusha of Vedic literature, it is stated, Lokite Vidarto Nena. The Supreme Lord in his localized aspect as Paramatma explains the purpose of the Vedas. The following verse also appears in the Vedas. Tavadisha samprasadosmaj, Tavadisha samprasadosmaj, Charirat samtaya param, Jyoti rupam sampatya smena, Rupena Pinishpatyate Sautama Purusha. Translation: the super soul coming out of the body enters the impersonal form of Jyoti. Then in this form he remains in his spiritual identity. That Supreme is called the Supreme Personality. This means that the Supreme Personality is exhibiting and diffusing his spiritual effulgence, which is the ultimate illumination. That Supreme Personality also has a localized aspect, as Paramatma. By incarnating himself as the son of Satyavati and Parashara, he explains the Vedic knowledge as Vyasadeva.
Text 18. Because I am transcendental beyond both the fallible and the infallible, because I am the greatest and I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that Supreme Person. Purport. No one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, neither the conditioned soul nor the liberated soul. He is therefore the greatest of personalities. Now it is clear here that the living entities in the Supreme Personality of Godhead are individuals. The difference is that the living entities, either in the conditioned state or the liberated state, cannot surpass in quantity the inconceivable potencies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Text 19. Yo mami was masamudo janati purushottama mam sa sarva vidvujati ma sarvabhavena bharata. Whosoever know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, without doubt is to be understood as the knower of everything. And he therefore engages himself in full devotional service, O son Bharata. Purport. There are many philosophical speculations about the constitutional position of the living entity and the supreme absolute truth. Now in this verse, the Supreme Personality of Godhead clearly explained that anyone who knows Lord Krishna as the Supreme Person is actually the knower of everything. The imperfect knower goes on simply speculating about absolute truth, but the perfect knower, without wasting his valuable time, engaged directly in Krishna consciousness, the devotional service of the Supreme Lord. Throughout the whole of Bhagavad Gita, this fact is being stressed at every step. And still there are so many stubborn commentator of Bhagavad Gita who consider the Supreme Absolute Truth and the living entity to be one of the same. Vedic knowledge is called Sruti, learning by oral reception. One should actually receive the Vedic message from authorities like Krishna and his respectives. Hare Krishna distinguishes everything very nicely, and one should hear from this source. Simply to hear like the whole is not sufficient. One should be able to understand from the authorities. It is not that one should simply speculate academically. One should submissively hear from Bhagavad Gita, and this living entity are always subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyone who is able to understand this according to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna knows the purpose of Vedas. No one else knows the purpose of the Vedas. The word bhajate is very significant. In many places the word bhajate is expressed in relationship with the service of Supreme Lord. If a person is engaged in full Krishna consciousness in devotional service of Lord, it is to be understood that he has understood all the Vedic knowledge. In the Vaishnava Parampara, it is said that if one is engaged in the devotional service of Krishna, then there is no need for spiritual process to understand the Supreme Absolute Truth. He has already come to the post because he is engaged in the devotional service of Lord. He has ended all preliminary process of understanding. Similarly, of anyone after speculating for hundreds of thousands of lives does not come to the point that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and that one has to surrender there. All his speculations of so many years and lives is a useless waste of time.
Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Madhur Goswami ki jai.
So, when you read, do you read English or you read Cantonese?
I'm too ignorant, I can't read that.
So,
I'm not that advanced.
yeah, I read that. Sanskrit is very simple, so I study Sanskrit very, very quickly. But I can read that.
Oh, you can read that?
Yeah, I generally read this.
Okay.
But it's still not easy for me.
I read this part.
The big words is not easy for me. She is really good.
Oh, yeah.
She is here? No. Oh. Yeah, she's Sanskrit is really good. She can sing.
Yeah.
I just took the classes to pass it for in like a primary school. Secondary school, that's it. Your Sanskrit is very good. You can read Sanskrit, I guess?
I cannot read, I can read only the dialects, I mean Sanskrit and English, but not the...
Not the original one? Okay, I thought you already did, but you sounds pretty good with the original one. I can read the Sanskrit, but yeah, following your pronunciation is pretty good. Yes, yeah. Hindi I can read, so that's why I can read Sanskrit. But the bigger words is difficult for me. Right. Right.
I'll take it from you. Yes, but generally, like, I use it very closer, we go there, we change from here, like, so I am not going this one that much, but I know, like, this is, I guess you will go to this one. Okay. Oh, I see. Your husband did that? So your husband has a short name in this? He's okay. He was from India or something? So, you are currently living there? Okay. Okay, so he's seeing Very good. What do you do? Oh, very good. Yeah, I'm in this idea of providing a little things. Yeah, my associate. I did. I was doing good business. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to direct contact. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can wait for 5 minutes if you are coming back. And if you are coming in 5 minutes like this, for your